what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Afrikaans for my Mensa, Giselle there. Afrikaans for ons Mensa. Welcome back to the program, folks. It is Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Arguably the most consequential month in the history of this program, and thank you to all of those who found this program, discovered it, and those who are watching the content and sharing it with others. I hope you appreciate the effort that goes into it. Certainly isn't a half-ass effort, that's for darn sure. So thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. And anyway, moderators have carte blanche to get rid of people being difficult. Give them timeouts first. If that doesn't work, then just you can block them on the channel. I can unblock them if a mistake was made later on. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, folks. Breaking news out of Washington and affecting South Africa. President Donald Trump issued a letter which went out through the State Department last night, which has ended PEPFAR in South Africa after 22 years of keeping people alive in South Africa. The United States is washing its hands of this burden and turning it over to the arrogant African National Congress, the ruling party there, that is continually insulting the United States. We're going to talk about that here today. A shocking development here. We know that PEPFAR was under threat, and now we know that it's gone. It is gone. This is a letter purportedly sent to the various third parties who receive PEPFAR funding to execute programs on behalf of South Africans. And the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, a 5-year program meant to be an emergency stopgap measure, has turned into a 22-year commitment on the part. Excuse me. Didn't have time to turn the microphone off on that. Turned into a 22-year program that's a perpetual, never-ending obligation of the United States to take care of the world that doesn't take care of itself. This is what the letter said today. We're going to talk about this and so much more on this broadcast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. But let's get straight to this letter. This is, I mean, gosh, wow. I knew that eventually PEPFAR would end, but in this fashion, a bit surprising. So this award is being terminated for convenience and in the interest of the U.S. government pursuant to a directive from United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio in his capacity as the acting administrator for the U.S. Agency for International Development, and or Peter Marocco, who is performing the duties and functions of both deputy administrators for USAID. Secretary Rubio and PTDO Deputy Administrator Marocco have determined your award is not aligned with agency priorities and made a determination that continuing this program is not in the national interest. The decision to terminate this individual award is a policy determination vested in the acting administrator and the person performing the duties and functions of the deputy administrator. I've been delegated authority to issue this termination notice. Detailed instructions will follow, and a formal modification amendment to memorialize this action is forthcoming. Immediately cease all activities, terminate all subawards and contracts, and avoid incurring any additional obligations chargeable to the award beyond these unavoidable costs associated with this termination notice. Immediately provide similar instructions to all subrecipients and contractors. Kindly confirm receipt of this termination notice via electronic email response to the sender. Wow. That is the letter that many organizations in South Africa woke up to this morning as they discovered that the gravy train of PEPFAR has ended in South Africa, in no small measure because the arrogant asshattery of the African National Congress and its behavior. Just this week, we've seen 2 days ago that President Ramaphosa, rather than ratcheting down the tension, is actually jacked it up with a op-ed he penned with none other than Gustavo Petro, the arrogant asshat of a president of Colombia. Remember Colombia when the United States wanted to send convicted murderers, rapists, and pedos back to Colombia? And the president himself gave aircraft clearance for the military flights to fly to Colombia, only to deny it as they were approaching to land, wasting our time or fuel in an effort to embarrass the United States. Donald Trump takes no prisoners. He's on the golf course at Doral when he gets word that President Petro had removed the aircraft landing clearance. He gets on the phone, sends a text message, 25% tariffs immediately apply to the country of Colombia. All diplomatic visas are rescinded, and all visitor visas from Colombia are revoked until further notice. If these things don't change in 1 week, the tariffs will be 50%. Within 1 hour, he capitulated and not only agreed to take his criminals back to his country, but also started sending his own plane to the States to collect these criminals. Folks, that's the person who co-authored this with Sir Ramaphosa, a direct insult to the United States and our national security interests, and doing it in the face of all that's going on. Ramaphosa signed this thing with Anwar Ibrahim, the president or prime minister of Malaysia, and Gustavo Petro, among others. This is ridiculous. Israel's actions strike the foundations of international law. No, the behavior of South Africa and these other actors in writing an op-ed. You know, it's funny because I just published a video in which Cyril Ramaphosa is complaining, we don't run around to the world and solve our problems by going to the world. Well, that's exactly what Cyril Ramaphosa is doing. It is shocking to say the very least, except it's not shocking. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has ordered the end of PEPFAR, and this will have earth-shaking consequences for South Africa and for South Africans because the government of South Africa has been negligent in its responsibility to deal with the HIV crisis. They like to dismiss it saying, oh, the U.S. is only providing 17% of the PEPFAR money. But the 17% they're providing is absolutely critical. The ANC doesn't have $365 million to pick up the stopgap measures to fill in the gap the United States is filling. And quite frankly, without our antiretrovirals, you would have dead South Africans on every corner. Trump orders immediate end to USAID funding for HIV organizations in South Africa. This story coming from News 24 and many other sources here. We're going to cover this extensively here in this hour. Plus, PEPFAR-funded HIV organizations South Africa woke up to letters telling them their grants had been ended permanently. The letters tell them that your award is not aligned with agency priorities and continuing this program is not in the national interest. USAID funds 44 health projects in South Africa, and we've given $8.1 billion to South Africa since 2003. $439 million of that was for the current fiscal year, which is up from $365 in 2023. Tuberculosis programs funded through AID apparently also received the letters, so it wasn't just HIV, but it's also the TB programs. This is bad news, folks. Bad news for South Africans, but good news for American taxpayers. Really good news for American taxpayers. We're no longer footing the bill for the actions of South Africans. Ramaphosa slams AfReform, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to get back to the PEPFAR story. Sorry. I want to talk about the PEPFAR story since we made it the headline for this program. Listen, you could see this one coming a mile away. I'm a little surprised it happened today, but after Ramaphosa published an article in Foreign Policy, an incredibly influential publication that movers and thinkers and policymakers in the policy establishment read religiously. I've been reading Foreign Policy for 40 years. It's not a good look, South Africa. Not a good look. Okay, let me say hello to folks in the chat, and we'll get back to this PEPFAR story. They've not covered The Hague, but covered the USA trip. People in South Africa don't do research and will sadly follow the narrative. Oh, that's probably true, 360. Probably true. Veritas, Neville Purdon, Jan van Riebeck, Adele Visser, Chris Ehlers, Arctic, 360. What a call to reality. Gone is that bubble. People have been living in a bubble. The reality is waking up. It will start to set in here. I saw another news report a short while ago that Cyril Ramaphosa wants to make a deal with Donald Trump. Really? Let's make a deal. I feel like Monty Python. Let's make a deal. How much will you offer me for this? How many rare earth elements? How many diamonds? How much gold will you give me? Oh, my goodness. Oh, Patrick, thank you for your membership. The alert window is off because I had a guest on. So, Patrick, thank you very much for your membership. Another fuck around and find out moment. Exactly, Heidi Kruger. You're spot on. Even if you smash a dislike to all the trolls. Yeah, there you go. The aid for AIDS in South Africa was not helping. AIDS rate has gone up and it's getting higher. Well, you have a fair argument there, Stephen, but it has worked elsewhere. Botswana has made great use of PEPFAR money. 38% of the adult population in 2000 was HIV positive. Now, bear in mind that with the introduction of antiretrovirals in that time frame and after that, and they've improved over the years, the number of people dying from HIV has diminished. So it used to be the people got HIV, once they were positive, their CD4 count dropped. They dropped like flies. Thank you, Teeny. They dropped like flies and people died. I don't mean to be callous, but that's what happened. So you had a high mortality rate. The introduction of antiretrovirals prolonged life and the mortality rate dropped precipitously. So in order to bring down the adult prevalency rate, thank you, Edward O'Neill. In order to bring down the adult prevalency rate with people not dying, so you got 100,000 people with HIV, another 20,000 next year, another 20,000. They're not. So now you have 140,000. But in the past, 60,000 would have died. So it would have been down here. The adult prevalency rate, bringing it from 38% in less than 2 decades down, actually in about a decade, down to 14% is an incredible achievement done by Botswana. They've done a fantastic job fighting HIV. They did a poor job initially, but with the introduction of PEPFAR, they make good use of money. South Africa, not so much. Magda Visa, welcome to you. Okay, Crocotopia, welcome back. Jan from right now, the education department got the job to teach girls to keep their legs closed. Good God. Thank you, wisdom above God. Gold, excuse me. I was going to say above God. That'd be pretty cheeky. Don't agree with even taxpayers contributing to AIDS, HIV, because most of it's self-inflicted. Any chance that BRICS members will give aid? No, no chance, Val. The Chinese or the Indians might be willing to give antiretrovirals, but they're not going to give them for free. Rebel refugees, welcome to you. And Dardy and Veritas, this is it. Shots fired. Yeah, shots fired, folks. Shots fired. By the way, for those who are curious, the PEPFAR video I did a short while ago, we'll see how it does, but I'm going to tell you how it's doing right now. That video, which I published before my last interview, that was 2 hours ago, is at 32,000 views. 15,000 people watched it the last hour. Wow, that'd be incredible. I'd love to see that thing hit 150, 200,000. I've never had a 200,000 video, but 180,000. Let's see what happens with that video. You had exactly what the ANC did in the 1980s. Good evening, JVZ and MJ. All this crap we have to deal with, they're just Cyril's death rattles. Yep. And thank you for the super chat. Just came in there from Bushveld. Wonder what the end result will be due to all the cancer decisions and how long it will take for the crap to hit the fan. Well, the crap is about to hit the fan very quickly in South Africa. It's about to get very spicy in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very spicy in South Africa as Cyril keeps ratcheting up the foolishness. Look, I mean, I don't get what he's playing for. As I said in a forthcoming interview on Biz News, and I think I mentioned it in my other video, the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa wants sanctions, but no one's coming to his rescue. He wants sanctions so he can play the role of victim. That's the only thing that makes sense here. It doesn't make sense. Why would you intentionally poke the bear? What was the last time Cyril Ramaphosa penned an op-ed? He's done it before, but what was the last time? And Gamer, how you doing there, man? Congratulations to 50,000. Thank you for your hard work. You're very welcome. Thank you for your subscription. And thank you, more so to the point, for 140 Rand, dude. Thank you so much. Anybody know where Mzansi Patriot is? I haven't seen him in a long time. He's a doctor. Hope he's okay. Yep. Marketing 101. Yeah, exactly. They don't understand it. Paul Ram, Johann Rudolph, Evening Colonel, lots to cover tonight. Yeah, exactly. Chris, I like it when you speak foreign. The one says, with this down, here comes tax and electoral increases as well as increased load shedding. Well, none of that affects load shedding, but maybe the crap going down is going to get real soon. Yep. Heidner Schoenfeld, good evening to you. Adel Visser, just now they want a vaccine for stupidity. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Nico Gustin says, watch your latest video, epic. Which one? The one on Cyril or the one on a PEPFAR? Thank you for the super chat, Watchman Stone. 50 Rand. Oh boy, I'm going to have to put a target up and see how many we can get here. Thank you for the super chat. El Marie Mayer, welcome to you. Ivan Clayson, come now. This is par for the course for Southampton politicians. Why Jan van Riebeck is still blamed for me. Listen, Ivan, I know that, but Jan van Riebeck is in the chat. Let's give him a break today, okay? Jacques Fint, one of the OGs, welcome back. Actually, no, Jacques, it wasn't stolen. I can reassure people that most of that money is pretty well accounted for. Sorry, I've got chest is itching here for some reason. Someone must be talking about me. That's an old wives' tale if your chest is itching. So that money doesn't go to the government of South Africa. It goes to third parties. And so we track it much better than people realize. Fiona, thank you so much for that 150 Rand super chat. Yep, now Ramaphosa said he's feeling for the loss of the people that lost families during apartheid, and we'll look into it to see why they haven't gotten justice yet. Yeah. Well, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Okay, we got 598 people here. Are you ready for this? Here you go. Soon, within a day or two or a week, probably. Now, I'd be happy to get this wrong, but we know the past. We are concerned about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is a scourge in South Africa. Men are responsible. The ANC's program of action will address gender-based violence. We must put structures in place. We must renew the ANC to fight this scourge. You want to bet? Let's bet. It's coming. Every time they get caught with their pants around their ankles, the ANC turn to gender-based violence. That's what the problem is. Hey, don't get me wrong. Gender-based violence is horrific. It needs to be addressed. But it is a societal problem. It is not a men's problem. It is a women's and men's problem. It is everybody's problem. Because mothers raise these little bastards that beat women. Mothers raise these little pricks that rape women. Mothers raise these little criminals who assault women and assault men. So mothers and fathers play a role, and that's the big problem. There's no father. No discipline. Yeah, you watch. Thank you, PJ Bota. Wow, we got one of the Lions in here, man. Sorry about the loss last weekend. You're going to have a tough 2 weeks, 2 games in a row against the Sharks. Ooh, I feel for the Lions. Yep, so it's not something that will wake them up. Their gravy train's over. I don't know if they'll wake them up. Colby says, I wonder what the true number of 8 million. Cool, now sanctioned Patrice Motsepe. Herman Volka, welcome to you. And let me get back, catch up here a little bit. Squirrel is like the headless mannequin. Yeah, maybe ANC has been promised money from someone. Maybe. Stopping PEPFAR will never close the legs. The only thing is you give social grant from, stop giving social grants. Franz Cronier looks somber on the Biz News interview, and Joel Pollack unpacks some interesting things. We are in for a rough ride. I don't know what Joel Pollack said or what Franz Cronier said. Were they both on Biz News, and when was that? Amanda Antoinette Short, next to go will be a Goa. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Ram thinks he's playing 64-dimensional. Yeah. And who will be blamed? Jan van Riebeck, apartheid, minorities. I guess Ramaphosa is tired of blaming apartheid, so now he's going to blame AfriForum. Well, yeah, that's this week's narrative. William Ross said, yep, he's to blame the dismal state of the economy on someone other than the ANC. Okay, Watchman Stone, thank you for the super chat. Adam Barnard, ANC will use it to promote NHI, claiming that national health is a must. Tax must go up. Blame AfriForum. Child of the Soil, saw you on I Am Neo. Mad, had to see if you were a real person. Hopefully some of our beliefs overlap. Mad? What do you mean mad? Who was mad? I wasn't mad. I said very polite things to that guy. I'm not on I Am Neo. He stole my content. It's a copyright violation. He didn't ask my permission to use it. I'm not on that channel. That guy's stealing content to get clicks. Welcome, Child of the Soul. And hopefully you find what you're looking for here. Amanda Cooper, they will never, ever take responsibility for their actions. Now, yeah, of course not. Tail Finder Warhawks, normal for the ANC caught with their hands in the crime jar. Yep. Good evening, G-Men. Trump will always trump him. Yep. Jake's here. It's called apartheid. Fiona Fundavault, 150 round. Thank you so much for that, my dear. Yeah. One portion of common sense tonight. Well, you're getting plenty of it here. Pete Funderlin, good day, Colonel. Next step is interest of the public, a weapon seizures from law-abiding citizens. Yeah, well, Australia's already done that. England's done that for the most part. Canada wants to do that. They've already banned 1,100 different types of firearms. We are ready, okay? Crocotopia, article News 24 saying a lot of wealthy South Africans are returning to South Africa. Rob Hersoff did, but that was 6 years ago. A super chat coming in from Reddick. Good going there, Chris. We appreciate you. Wonder when the czar will collapse. Did you see the ANC Youth League call for the 80s violence? Yeah, people have said that, but I haven't seen those messages. I think they said Ramaphosa told them to do it. Okay. PJ Bota, thank you for your membership. All right. Jumping ahead a little bit here. ANC just got the idea from watching you, though. That's a stupid bit. African brothers and sisters put their lives in the hands of the rich and poor for it. Trump will be no different. I have no idea what you're talking about, Child of the Soil. Okay. Mods, be prepared for a troll alert here. No idea what this is going on here. Trump will be no different. No idea what you're talking about there. Trump has been very different. Very different. Americans became wealthier as a consequence of Trump's first presidency and his tax cuts. The economy grew. Revenue to the federal treasury soared under Trump. And all that in the face of intense opposition, treason, and undermining the government from within. And that all happened the first term. It's all happening now. So I don't know what you're saying Trump's not going to do. You don't sound like you're clued in. Spot on, but you forgot to say my fellow South Africans are coming with a heavy heart. Born Free Stater, that's a good one. Vicky Pocket, just as flabbergasted as why Ramaphosa is reaching such new heights of stupidity. Yep. The news of South Africa turning South Africa is a favorite story when something bad is in the news. Exactly. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. I can't disagree with that. That's pretty straight. Tunes Bota, welcome back to you. The sad situation ANC have chosen to put South Africa in. Yep. Trump hasn't forced South Africa to do anything. We must be financially independent of imperialists. All right. Well, we've proven that you're just a fool. So, all right. Where's my mods? Okay. The imperialists are the South African government. The imperialist is the government of South Africa. The neo-colonial power in Africa is the ANC, which is interfered in politics domestically in Cote d'Ivoire, in Burundi, in the Congo, in the Central African Republic, in Sudan. That is the imperial power. In Lesotho, which they invaded twice, in Comoros, which they invaded 3 times, in Mozambique, which they sent troops to. All of these countries, neo-colonial power of the ANC. So there's your imperialists. They're the ones going to the Congo for minerals. Not the Europeans, not the Americans. And now everything will go up because government will find the money to save the voters that's stuck in their teeth. Yeah, troll alert. I just took care of it. Gave the person a chance. They hung themselves. Full bikers, welcome back. Kiona Fenter, tell me about, I've been saying this for the past few years to everyone. I think we need hard times. Patches says, Patches, it disappeared. Hang on. Go back there. Family account is returning, but it's a short while and they're leaving again. Yeah, News 24 are liars and haven't spoken truth for 4 decades. Probably true. Reddick says, going there, Chris. We appreciate you. Wonder when the czar will collapse. Did you see? Yeah, okay. Watch Senator John Kennedy's about your department of $7 million per minute debt growing. Yeah, no, I didn't see it, but he's right. William Rawl, they must not stop AGOA. It's the tap the ANC Ramaphosa are setting. They will blame the fall on USA and push their racial division again. Yeah, well, the U.S. hasn't done that yet. You notice that? If you're not a troll, please hit the like button. I like that, Jacob. Okay. I'm so glad I forgot to just get a glimmer of hope. Yoshua Fandumeva. I can't see the ANC's reaction to the aid cut. Racist Trump administration have no compassion for AIDS patients in Africa. It's just a bit concerned now. They might push for that. By the way, PEPFAR isn't just for Africa. It also is for America and for Europe and for Thailand. It's a global program. But, of course, they're ignorant of that, so they'll say what they want. South Africa farm life. Okay, cool beans. Magdavisa Wenmare, 1440. I see Colorado is going full commie. Yeah, so I said don't go to Colorado. Definitely worth watching. Franz Kronington, Biz News. Okay, thank you for that, Cheryl. Read today that Ramaphosa won't change his mind about Israel. These trolls have names. Dwayne Ferry, yeah. And there's a super chat from Inkwell. 35 Rand. Thank you so much for that. Very kind of you. Is ANC aware that Karl Marx was Jewish? He was married in a Catholic church. I'm not aware that he was Jewish. Just mentioning what is it? It's not even germane. Elon Musk, you'll get cash to distract watch. Yeah, I mentioned Elon Musk. He doesn't show up. I saw a video on SABC that the EFF calls for AfriForum Solidarity to be declared domestic terrorists. Any thoughts on that? Yes, I have thoughts on that. Jaden Brown, thank you so much for that 35 Rand super chat. I have comments on that. We'll get to it in a second. He is poking the bear. Space Cadet, welcome to you. William Peters, Amanda Cooper. Chris, remember that the people in your channel are here every day religiously. That's what is most important. Your followers love you. To hell with the trolls. Well, yeah, no, but you've got to smack the trolls down and get rid of them. That's why the song that was written is pretty cool. It talks about trolls. So many illegal immigrants in South Africa who claim Sasa. Yeah, someone told me that last night. I have no evidence of it, but I've heard it over and over again. Saw Rob Hersoff on business last night. He's predicting the rand hitting $50. That's what I said a few weeks ago. Yep, $50 to $1. Yep. In a matter of months. And thank you for the 35 Rand, Andre Appelgren. Thank you for that. I didn't see that interview last night. He did send it to me, though. Been a little busy. Last night I was in Maryland interviewing the members of the Solidarity Movement about their reason for being in America. Yep. Long pass to the colonel on the wing, and he scores. Exactly, left wing. Not politically, but on rugby. Thank you very much. Streaking down the side. And unlike most left wings, I'm not going for the corner. I'm going to cut, do a little juke, get around that fullback, and go towards the post so that my kicker's got an easy conversion. Going to have huge influence on ANC voters voting for ANC again. I don't think so, Chris. I don't think so. Inkwell, I wonder who the puppet master is. Yeah, who is Ramaphosa's puppet master? Shout out to Jacob von Clarkstorp, also watching the stream. Jaden, Jacob in Clarkstorp, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Conservatives in the UK want to bring back compulsory national service. That's stupid. Money is raining today. Not that much in game. It sounds like a lot, but there are a lot of small ones, and I'm grateful for every one of them. But dollar-wise, it hasn't turned out a lot so far, but thank you all for them. Freedom is a human right, but the ANC makes us feel we should be charged for breathing. Yes, they're going to charge for carbon dioxide emissions. Devos says, just wonder, so happy Felix Jones is back. The Bucks are South Africa's greatest hope and joy of the moment. Wonder if China will come into the rescue. Nope. Vern, I don't think so. You going to interview Ernst Rhodes, or is it he has not responded to my message? Ernst Rhodes, I wrote to him on the 19th of February, and I've not heard from him. Not heard from Ernst Rhodes, so I don't know. Happy to interview him, but I got to hear from him. Getting some rugby and PE. All right, Charles. I'm caught up in the chat. Pete Funderlinde. Let's get back to the comments here and the questions. Not the questions, but the news here. But Ramaphosa saying, let's make a deal. Vainant Smith, 350 Rand super chat. Well, that'll bump up the total quite a bit. Thank you for that, sir. Thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. There we go. Back to the news. So, Ramaphosa slams AfriForum's visit to the States. Now, I listened to Ramaphosa's comments. He didn't slam. He was very calm. He's like, well, we shouldn't be going abroad to do that as patriotic South Africans. That's not a slam. The media have their own stilt on this very dishonest clickbait nonsense here. Thank you, Vainant, for that super chat. It's iron dollars, and the weakening rand does not help even when earning Forex. Inflation eats up everything. Wow. Sorry to hear that. So, where are we at here? There it is. Ramaphosa slams AfriForum and Solidarity's Washington visit remarks. I don't think that's what he did. I heard his comments, unless he had other comments. I just made a video on it. So I don't think that's accurate. They're saying that President Ramaphosa has condemned AfriForum and Solidarity's movement for taking their grievances to Washington, accusing them of undermining South Africa's sovereignty. That's not what he said. He said we're a sovereign nation. He didn't say they undermine his sovereignty. Yep, he said we must stop running to other countries. Our problems should be discussed and resolved here. That confirms our sovereignty and our standing as a free and independent nation. We may have differences, but we will find solutions. That's not condemning. Times Live, that's a very dishonest article. Now, I won't attack the journalist because I know that titles are often written by editors, not by the journalist. And so, but that's just dumb. That's not what was said. That is not what was said. By the way, I want to take a look at that video on PEPFAR and see how it's doing now while we're sitting here. Let me just load it up again, the PEPFAR video. It was at 31,000 last time I checked. It's currently at 35,000, 14,000 last hour, so that's probably going to be easily a 50,000 view, if not more. That'd be pretty cool. Love to see it get to 100,000, but, people finding out about it. So ANC was approaching the international community pre-94. That was okay. Exactly, Mr. Nevolent. That's what Navalent. That's what I said in my video. The ANC went to the United States and demanded sanctions. You'll see that in the Biz News interview, which harmed South Africans. And Mangosuthu Buthelezi was arguing for something completely different, for investment. And the ANC won, and South Africans were pushed into poverty as a consequence of it. And now it was okay for them to go lobby people. They weren't treasonous. It's just silly. It's, it's whoever's wearing the hat, whoever the shoe, which foot it's on. They are sowing division. Yes. The News 24 says that Ramaphosa slams AfriForum. He didn't slam AfriForum. Speaking to journalists after addressing a basic education in Boksburg, where his obedient little DA minister, not so little Siviwe Garuba, standing next to him. Siviwe Garuba right there, the DA apparatchik, part of the government of national unity. Yes, he said the development by AfriForum and Solidarity under the Solidarity Movement banner spawned divisions in our nation, and added the organizations were just sowing divisions. I've heard that AfriForum and Solidarity met representatives in the U.S. government, and they are doing precisely what we said we as South Africans should not do. We should stop running to other countries. We should discuss our own problems here and find solutions, and that in many ways confirms our own sovereignty. That's just comical, ladies and gentlemen. That's just bat crap crazy comical. I mean, think about this. Think about this for a second. Cyril Ramaphosa is telling us that that they must solve things internally. They shouldn't be running other countries. Then why in the State of the Nation address did he tell the world that the South African government is sending teams to Tanzania, to France, to countries around the world to lobby them to get the Americans to change their view on what's going on in South Africa? Wow, this guy can't even keep his lies straight. He can't even keep his lies straight. It was just days ago. Absolutely bat crap crazy, ladies and gentlemen. This is insanity. So let's get Cyril up here. Okay, let me see how I can get this up. real quick. And we're going to listen into Cyril as he gives his comments here. It's a couple of minutes, about 2 minutes. So we're going to play this really quickly here. Mark Sayers, Ramaphosa of the ANC Youth League, must be more militaristic. Yeah, that was a few days ago. Chris Advocate Ike Kamalo. I know a lot. The name sounds familiar. Adele, what do you want me to interview him about? Hey, Chris, just shout out to my husband, Charles Barnard. Thank you for everything he's doing for us. He works very hard to provide for family. Well, there you go, Charles. Look at that. I think Charles has been in the chat before, if I'm not mistaken. That's a very lovely message from Vloy. Wow, man, you got to keep her there, buddy. Wow, look at that. She called you out in a positive fashion. Usually women call you out in a bad way. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hope I'm not a troll. To clarify my previous comment from what Davi Roth said, South has a new few hundred billion short. That doesn't make you a troll, William. No, you're not a troll. I mean, that doesn't. I didn't see that, so I might have missed your comment. Yep, I can't get all of them. Yep, they don't crap from Shinola. Okay, let's go ahead and get this going here. We're going to sit and listen to Cyril. I'll probably pause it to comment as we go along, but this is Cyril a short while ago speaking to the media outside Lakota. You can see Siviwe Garuba back there with her on Catwoman glasses on she's got there. Okay, so let me get myself up on the screen here. There we go, but we don't want to be up there. Let's come down here. So let's see what Cyril's got to say. What does Cyril have to say? Ready? Here we go.
And AfriForum to meet his representatives.
Well, I do believe, I've heard that AfriForum and Solidarity have met representatives in the US government, and they're doing precisely what we said we as South Africans should not do. We should stop running to other countries. We should discuss our own problems here.
I'm sorry, guys. We should stop running to other countries. What did Cyril Ramaphosa just do? He just sent teams. He also, Rodney Lamola claimed they sent a team to Washington to engage the Americans. And of course, the Americans haven't talked to this team. Jan just gave a 14-rand super chat. Thank you for your first super chat, Jan. Very kind of you. Buy a donkey. So Ike from the apartheid times, he knows a lot about South African and Zimbabwe times. Adele, yeah, I'd be interested in talking to him. Put me in touch with him. So we must not run to other countries. But that's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Did he not boast about putting teams together and sending them off to diplomatic missions in Tanzania and France and around the world to lobby these governments? But we must solve our problems here. Cyril, what about the 650, 700,000 public responses to the Bella Bill and also to expropriation without compensation, over 90% plus of which were negative and ask you not to implement it? We must solve our own problems here. You simply ignore civil society and do what the hell you want. Come on, man. Come on, man.
And find solutions. And that in many ways confirms our own sovereignty. It confirms our standing as a free and independent nation.
Now, does this sound like a confrontational statement? I'll give Cyril this. The media are falsely reporting what Ramaphosa said here. You're going to hear more as we go along, but I hear no condemnation, no castigation, no assault on AfriForum and Solidarity. And even when the journalists try to get him to say, we're going to arrest them, they're treasonous, he doesn't even go there. Very balanced by the squirrel, but also very dishonest when it comes to his hypocrisy.
A nation that can stand proud amongst many other nations.
Everyone ever watched Charlie Brown growing up? The teacher talks, wah, 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 wah. That's what he sounds like.
And being able to say, we can solve our own problems. We may differ here, but we will find solutions to what.
We will find solutions. Well, no, you won't find solutions because you simply ignore the public comments and ignore the public. Not to mention, Cyril, that you ignore AfriForum, Solidarity, and other civil rights groups and other civil actors. You talked to Kali Creel about the Bella Bill, and then you signed it anyway. You didn't talk to AfriForum or anybody else about EWC. I'm not saying you're obliged to do it, but don't say we solve our own problems here. We engage when you don't engage. You don't engage.
Whatever problems we have, and we have the wherewithal to be able to do that. So I would say,
Maggie, Joel Pollack is not the U.S. ambassador to South Africa. That's fake news. Stop spreading that around. Simply untrue. The United States does not have an ambassador to South Africa. Ruben Brigdy was the last one. He resigned, as is the norm for political appointees when a new president comes in. We have a charge d'affaires there. You know, you all keep saying this, and it's not true. He might be the ambassador to South Africa, but he is not the ambassador to South Africa. So please stop spreading fake news.
We stay here, we solve our problems here, and we embrace one another, and we build a nation. We will never be able to build a nation by just going to complain to other nations.
So I ask you, Cyril Ramaphosa, why are you going to Tanzania and France then? Why are you sending a delegation to Washington to complain if you're not going to be able to build your nation by going abroad and complaining to other people? You see, he's saying that AfriForum is wrong, but he's doing the same thing.
The world. That's how we solve problems.
How do you respond to that?
Well, there are people who are saying that, you know, something needs to be done to them and all that. And I would say that we need to be sending a clear message to them that as far as we are concerned, as proud South Africans, we prefer that we should all stay here and solve our problems.
Really? Again, why are your teams going all over the world? Why do you go to Beijing and Tehran and Moscow if you're going to solve your problems at home?
And already what they are doing has spawned divisions in our nation. And that is not...
No, what the media are doing and what the ANC and others are doing, lying about them, is spawning division. Thank you, Jane Brown, for the 14 Rand. From someone with zero problem-solving skills, exactly. No, what you have done to race bait and race hustle is what's sowing division, not what they're doing. They actually went there and spoke on behalf of South Africans, black, white, and brown. They're accused of speaking on behalf of only Afrikaners, but their effort to keep the U.S. government from suspending South Africa from AGOA, for which it's not qualified for, it's disqualified itself. They've tried to keep South Africa in AGOA. And so they've actually helped South Africans in the agriculture sector, in the automotive industry, who rely on their jobs based on exports to America through the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, the tune of $3 billion per year. Cyril, you're doing nothing to help South Africans. AfriForum actually is.
Not a nation-building process of running around the world to try and have your problems solved. You are just sowing divisions. Because now a number of South Africans then start looking at others negatively. And I don't think that that is the right way to handle our problems.
Okay, last question.
So there you go. There's Cyril. I find actually you guys keep going back to Joel Pollack, but everything Joel Pollack's saying, except for his view on Simonstown, is something I've been saying here forever. And as far as predicting the sanctions, I predicted everything that could play out, including sanctions, travel bans, all that stuff for days, for weeks now. I'm glad you're enjoying Joel Pollack, and that's fantastic. But why don't you enjoy my content too? I've been saying this forever. ANC can't sort it out. They are not Neanderthal dogs like us. Dog, the bounty hunter. Yeah, he is taking questions. Yep. Yeah, during COVID, didn't take any. You're right. Yeah, who sowed the division? Well, the ANC and the EFF, the ones sowing the division. President Ramaphosa condemns AfriForum's White House appeal over land rights. That's not what it was. See, this is a clickbait, but this young man always is putting clickbait garbage up there. Kamachelo Mochiela is always misrepresenting stories. This is the guy that's really put some whoppers out there. Again, I don't know if he put the title up, maybe it was his editor, but this was not over land rights. That's horseshit. And he did not condemn AfriForum. That's also crap. Now, speaking of the sidelines, the educational Chotla in Boksburg, Ramaphosa criticized the African Counter Group that has urged U.S. President Donald Trump's administration to punish ANC politicians for pushing their unconstitutional. Well, that paragraph is correct, but the title is clickbaity. So that part is correct. Vanna van der Berg, everyone hush hush. It's a trap. Colonel's actually a counterintelligence aide. Colonel, this morning's Sunrise of the Colonel episode was the best. I wish I was there live. Yeah, Vanna, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. And what was even funnier to me, Verna, is all the people who are recent arrivals to the channel. You're all very welcome. Thank you for being here. It really helps. Grateful for it. But what was entertaining for me in that whole situation was people like, oh, don't get so upset. Why are you triggered? Triggered. You haven't seen triggered. You haven't seen upset, man. You guys just don't know. take against him. Someone in your chat mentioned that law giving us the authority. Magnitsky Act. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Well, I've also talked about that Magnitsky Act. Yeah, someone asked me about it the other day. He's a spy and a pimp. What poll do you want to do, Erica? What poll? Very busy man last 4 weeks. The uploads rolling every day. Yeah, look, I mean, nobody can keep up my pace. Show me somebody. In fact, I'm going to go on. There's been floods in Durban. Itiquini's got some. The death toll has now risen to 12, and one person is still missing. Municipalities coming out a lot of criticism for what's going on there. But let me just take a look at how many videos I've done. 790 people currently here. Be sure to hit that like button, folks. Doesn't cost you anything but a moment of your time. It's cheap. It's easy.
That was easy.
You don't listen. What? Who are you talking to? You don't listen. All right, troll alert there. Be ready for that. Okay. Okay. If I die tonight, it will be with a big smile. Yeah, G-Man, I know you want to be rude. Oh, I think you're talking about Cyril Ramaphosa. He doesn't listen. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Durban got hit pretty hard. Okay, let me just give you an idea how many videos I've done. Just let me take a look at that. So here's 30 prepared videos. That's in February to February 17th. In 10 days, I've done 30 videos prepared. That's a lot of research and writing. Okay, go back to February 5th. That's 60 videos. Okay. Okay. And go back to January 26th. That's 90 videos in 1 month. I've done 90 prepared videos in 1 month. Now, a couple of those are 1 or 2 minutes, but most of those are 5 and 10 to 10 minute videos and analytical. That's an insane amount of production, folks. An insane amount of production. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And I stand by my production. I mean, maybe we get a piece of information incorrect now and then, but I stand by it. Okay, it's slowing down now. It's 13,000 last hour, but my HIV video is up to 38,000 now. So, cool beans. What happened in KZN this past week was a tiny rain event compared to, oh yeah, no, you're right, Albert, but people still die because they're living in floodplains illegally, and officials don't stop them from living there. We solve our own problems. The ANC will solve problems they themselves create. Exactly. The bad butcher, and how would he do that? Why do they build shacks? Well, there you go, Veritas. You just said what I said. You can't build a shack in a floodplain. I mean, remember those floods last year? You can see the ravine where people built these things right in the path of the water. They all got washed away. Arno says, congrats on the 50,000 subs. Keep up the work. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, I hope so, Arno. Yep, looking forward to it. Jean-Pierre Bosch, the bug man endorsing Rema is like the biggest crook saying to the other crook, you're awesome. You need a PA. Adele, yeah, I probably could use a PA. No, I know, not a PK, a PA. Less money to be wasted. ANC will be downgrade themselves from Mercedes to Kia. The clown is loose. Most of those drownings is yeah. You're right. I think that's near the river. Yep. 300 freeloaders. No, we're down to 200 some. 795 people here and just 555 likes. Will the ANC ask Bricks for help? Yeah, but they aren't going to get it. I mean, I'll be happy to be wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, it's not going to be free. Okay, we'll give you $200 million for $1 billion worth of platinum or cobalt. That's what the Chinese will say. Lack of maintenance and infrastructure. Well, also, Fiona, the fact that they don't clean the drains out. They're full of rubbish, and they all get flooded and clogged, and the water just runs around it. Blue Meaty. Hi, Colonel. As far as I know, more people in South Africa live with tuberculosis and HIV. No, that's not true. That's not true, Blue Meaty. The number of people living with tuberculosis is somewhere around 650,000 or thereabouts. It's not nearly as bad as people think it is. It's bad. That's scary. And the number of people with HIV is approaching 8 million. So no, that's not an accurate stat. There are people with co-infection. That's a few 100,000. That's really bad for those people. HIV and tuberculosis. Bad mojo. Karen Bops, I didn't see your super chat. When did you last sleep? 1996. Now, I slept last night from 3 o'clock until 6:30 this morning. So I got 3.5 hours sleep. Okay. Frank Burns is here. Okay. We got pummeled in Durban from the floods. Virtual Western Cape was in Durban. That's interesting. Oh, you're not really in the Western Cape. It's virtual. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Erica, yeah, Hi Matters, thanks for blocking trolls. I'm the one that blocked the troll. Okay. But Isipingo area was always a mess. Yeah, exactly. And the colonel said they build. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Game. Yep, they do. It's scary. Hey, Freya Menzel, good to see you again there. But there was a poll she wanted, and did I miss your question there a few moments ago? What poll do you want me to do? Morgue. You can't solve problems from the same consciousness that created. Well, that's a fair point. Raina Russo, welcome. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Sedgefield is in from the garden route. How are things going? Yeah, tuberculosis, AIDS, bad mojo. Darlene Jacobs, how am I doing? I'm okay. I'm all right. How are you doing? Krause, Jan's son, Klaus definitely owns our government. All right, folks, let me get back to the news here. So before people start disappearing on us. All right, so here you go. This is eTheQueenie. Scary stuff there, folks. Scary stuff. SV is giving me a SASA grant. Thank you, SV, for that incredible 700 Rand super chat. But I'm going to call you out, brother. SASA grants aren't 700 Rands. They're 352. So is that yours and your spouse's SASA grant? Thank you, SV, so much for 700 Rand. Guys, you're making my trip much easier to accomplish here. It's going to be a lot easier. I'll be able to pay a few bills instead of eating all this out of my pocket for my next trip. Look, let me do this. I want to do a poll right now with these people here who are here. Hang on. Is this thing caught up now? Come on, there we go. Catch up. Come on, there we go. Okay, so I want to do a poll. Here's the poll. Would you like to attend a Colonel Wyatt All right, there you go. There's a poll, folks. Feel free. Almost 800 people here now. Let's see how many folks we can get to it. What trip happened this time? Wait, what are you talking about? What trip? Mavelin says, do you think South African whites are just pawns in a game between South Africa, Israel, and South? No, I don't. No, I don't think so at all. You're implying that Trump is using you. I don't think that's the case at all. Denny Funderberg, welcome to you. Ernst Cuthbert, ANC just caused the death of many individuals due to ignorance and bad decisions. Wolf, the blind biker. Dude, how do you drive a motorcycle when you're blind? Get out on the highway. Whoop, 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 whoop a cup. So nice to finally catch a live. Well, good to see you there. You don't need a poll. You'll have 100%. Well, I've had some meet and greets where nobody shows up, and I don't take offense, but it's a lot of effort to set these things up. The Eiserfontein, nobody showed. 5 people said they were coming, and none of them showed up. It was kind of embarrassing, but anyway, it's fine. I wound up having a meet and greet anyway. Slowly, I'm guessing. Only attend them if I rant. I can't promise to rant at a lecture. Anyway, because that's something I want to do different on the next trip. I do give lectures at the Reformation Society, but, well, Tim, it could be about anything you want. I didn't ask you, what topic yet. Whoever says no to the poll will find you. All right, so the flooding in eTheQueenie, folks. Bad mojo. Death toll is rising. 12 in a week. 60-year-old woman is also missing. Children died in this thing. Sad. The dead included Lindo Kule Mtembu, 13. Emmanuel Nkwanyana, 45. Alwande Silewelewe, 12. Wow, those aren't white folks. Those dead folks, or black folks dying. The Zulu King is calling for racial integration. Okay. Speaking during the opening of the KZN legislature in Peter Maritzburg, he said he was concerned about provincial government programs excluding other races and prioritize the Zulus. Wow. That is a fascinating statement from the Zulu King. He is concerned that the KZN government is excluding other people. As a king of every person in the province, I'm concerned government programs with the monarch exclude people who are not Zulu. I know this is not intentional, but those other races just also distance themselves. Well, if you're not Zulu, you're not another race. You're just another ethnic group. So I'll help him with that. That's an interesting approach there by King Mizuzulu Kwazweletini. Yeah, I remember his father. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. The Zulu King had that to say. Some South African politicians are calling for treason charges against AfriForum. This is comical. They've broken no laws, and you can see that Ramaphosa stopped short of calling for that because he knows they've broken no laws. So there you go. AfriForum's recent meeting with the Trump administration sparks outrage only amongst the glitterati. The leaders of lobby groups AfriForum and Solidarity have come under intense scrutiny following their recent meeting with members of the Donald Trump administration in the U.S. On Tuesday, they urged officials to impose punitive actions against leaders of the ANC while advocating for the rights and interests of Afrikaners in South Africa. But that's an incomplete story here. Who wrote this one? It's Zoli. Zoli Mtembu. If only you had the facts, my dear young lady. Zoli, they advocated on behalf of all South Africans, not simply Afrikaners. If only you could read. It's right there in the memorandum. The Washington memo, right there. That's very clear. It's not rocket science, folks. The Solidarity Movement is grateful for South Africa's position in AGOA. In 2024, the value of country's exports to the U.S. was 157 billion rand. Trade with the U.S. provides jobs to approximately 576,000 South Africans, most of whom aren't white. Of them, approximately 250,000 directly or indirectly linked to AGOA. Most of them are not white. Exports to the U.S. constitute roughly 3.4% of South Africa's gross domestic product, which is not white. They recommend to the President of the United States that South Africa continue to be included in AGOA. So, that is advocating on behalf of all South Africans. All South Africans, not whites, not Afrikaners, not Jews, not Christians, not Muslims, not gays, not straights, not rugby, not cricket players. Karen, thank you very much for the 35 Rand super chat. Rocket science will leave my rocket exploded. Scrap affirmative action and be exactly Pat Murray, and that'll get us started down the right road. Why is Ramaphosa hell-bent on going against USA? What's his gameplay? What's his strategy? Well, Karen, I said it earlier, and I put it in my video, which you obviously missed. Ramaphosa is, in my view, wanting sanctions. He wants to be punished by the Trump regime, by the Trump administration, so that he can play the victim to the developing world. He wants to be the champion for the developing world. Yeah, he wants to be sanctioned. That seems pretty clear to me. I mean, he's not that stupid. So his actions are intentionally provocative to piss the United States off. He thinks he's standing up to a bully, but he's not standing up to a bully. He's acting like a petulant child. So that's my answer to that, Karen. I think that's what's going on here. So, so these headlines are just silly. Well, Donald Trump says tariffs on Canada and Mexico go into effect on March 4th. Well, rush out and get your maple syrup right now, folks. Buy your Chrysler from Ontario before the prices go up on March 4th. Yes. And we make our own tamales, so we don't need Mexico's. Yes. Trump tariffs go into effect on Canada and Mexico on the 4th of March. 25% levies. Wow. Because of fentanyl. That's why he's doing it. So, crazy. Crazy. Now, what people don't realize is that until the early 20th century, the United States got most of its revenue for the federal government from tariffs. That's where the money came in. Then we started taxing our own citizens, and it's all been crap ever since. 16th Amendment. What hasn't been highlighted in Gamer? Democracy works, Transvaal. You haven't had democracy. You don't have democracy in South Africa. Don't kid yourself. Trump is cleaning house. Trump plans another 10% tariff on products from China. Wow. Trumpster is not backing down. He cited the country's role in the fentanyl trade. U.S. next week will impose an additional 10% tariff on imports from China over its role in the fentanyl trade. The move is slated to take effect Tuesday, doubles up on the previous 10% he placed earlier this month. In a Thursday post on Truth Social, he reinforces his threat to impose 25% on Canada and Mexico. Yep. He's serious about this fentanyl stuff. He's not. You got to remember that his brother was an alcoholic and died from alcoholism. Trump knows what addiction can do to families. Yep, he takes this very seriously. So, wow. 793 people here. How many people answered the poll? Only 400 people? Only 400 people? Geez, you could at least say no. Okay, we're considering immigration to Pennsylvania. Lutke, that's thank you for your membership, by the way. Earlier I missed it because it wasn't on. Immigration, great, but immigration is a very difficult route. President Trump has opened up a very generous window for refugee status, which is far easier to qualify for. Immigration is a hard hurdle. So if you want to immigrate, good luck to you. It's not easy. So I know people have been trying to immigrate to America for 15 years, had an application in, and they've gotten nowhere from South Africa. But refugee status can open the door like that. Yeah, Nick says he thinks that Cyril's being played. Well, I don't disagree, but I also think that he wants to play the victim. All right, what else you got here? When a person who cannot punch above his or her weight starts running their mouth, you know he or she has a knife or gun to their back pocket. Yes, Mirinda addiction is horrible. It really is. Gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol, terrible stuff. All right. Captured by those wanting to destroy Israel and split Israel and U.S. relationship. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, too. Yeah, World Economic Forum is pissed because USA told them to screw off. Yeah, you're right about that. What's this? Yeah, so Karen, I think I've answered that question. Okay, cool beans. Yes, he says he wants to do a deal with the U.S. Correct, but it's just comical because there's no deal to be made. Yeah, let's do a deal. So I've got that here. I missed that. I didn't get that. Sorry. Here you go. Here's the must do a deal right there. Let's make a deal. I already talked about this earlier. We don't want to go and explain ourselves. We want to go and do a meaningful deal with the U.S. on a whole range of issues. I'm positively inclined to promoting a good relationship with President Trump. Really? Then why did you say in the State of the Nation, we will not be bullied? What was that all about? What was that nonsense? No, this is just the flip-flopper who's changing his tune because it suits his needs now. Anyway, how are we doing on the poll? Fentanyl zombies. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's flipping scary. Well, I've seen it in Philadelphia. They're just like not even there. Reporting for Starboard. Okay. Thank you, Anto. Good to see you there. Yeah. What's going on in Uppington? You having a braai in Uppington without me? What the hell is going on there? That's not nice, man. You should be letting me braai with you. All right, let me just check in on that video again. I'm very curious about how hot that video is doing. My boss who resides in Cyprus gave me his blessing recently to take President Trump offer, and I would not lose my job. Wow, what a guy, Storm Chaser. What a guy. Well, he probably wants you to be alive, so that's pretty cool. 41,000 now on it, but it's slowing down. It's down to 12,000 last hour. But still, that's pretty cool. Got 185 subscribers from that. So we're picking up subscribers again after a slow week plus. Maybe we can get to 51,000 today. We're 50,760. That'd be awesome. Land grabs in East London. Yep, I covered that 10, 11 days ago. Place where all the victims have their own private jails. Faith and I do. Hey, where you been, Faith? Everything is going to hell in a handbasket, waiting for Trump's next move. Yeah, Faith, I definitely understand why you're waiting for the next move, because you want to see if it's going to be ethnic minorities. If it's going to be a little bigger than just the Afrikaner label. Okay. So be back later to go listen to my kid. Okay. All right. Yes, Edward, it's done and dusted. It's over. And it's permanent. It's gone. Now, that doesn't mean someone won't sue the Trump administration and try to bring it back, but it's done. It's permanent. Yep. That's in Biltong and Cabanesi. Even with my tooth pulled, I made it work. Oh, Charles, I'm sorry to hear your tooth got pulled. That's painful. Chris Marie's here. Welcome, Chris Marie. Erica, now she's speaking out for cons. I'm still trying to get that poll for her, but I keep missing it. Watch President Trump's cabinet meeting. He wants to bring food prices down, especially eggs. Well, Marissa, that's going to be a hard row to hoe because the Biden regime slaughtered 20 million hens. 20 million hens. Well, that's 20 million eggs a day that we don't have, or more. Yep. Sean Folshank, be careful what you wish for. Trump could sanction Ramaphosa's caters and brother-in-law in personal capacity, and cash might have to be explained. Stephen Nortke says, I hope you are doing well. What is going on to the people that are hooked on fentanyl? Oh, well, it's like a zombie-like drug. These people just like, it's deadly too. A lot of fentanyl. We had 100,000 deaths due to addiction last year. It's the first time we've hit that threshold. Last year, the year before, 106,000 people died from addiction. Not all fentanyl, some from heroin and other things, but 106,000 from drug overdoses. Wow. Heather Huttinga, why did they kill the hens? Oh, bird flu. They claim it was bird flu. So they culled 20 million hens. And the price of eggs went from $3 a dozen to 16, 18 bucks a dozen because there aren't any eggs. I don't eat eggs very often, so it really hasn't affected me. I haven't baked a cake lately, so I usually stick an egg or two in the cake mix, but, so it doesn't really affect me. Zelensky's coming to South Africa soon, says Ukraine's ambassador, Linda Enser. Linda Enser, that's the ambassador? Did Volodymyr, the lady leave? The one I've interviewed, because I've interviewed Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa remotely, and also when I was in Pretoria in person. So members of the illegal settlement here in Cableview have been burning tires yesterday and today. They blocked the roads, demanding sanitation to be left alone by law enforcement. Well, That's what happens when you tolerate stuff. Just sent you a great video clip. Okay, Chris Bodnorris. Where did you send it? In WhatsApp? Oh, you did send it in WhatsApp.
This executive order is the fuck around and find out order.
Okay. Oh, it's AI. Okay. Okay, let's pull that one up. Okay. Trying to be funny there. All right. That's, yeah. Let me get that call up here. Okay. I don't know who's, this is from the American, what? I can't read it. Thermicans? The hell that is. He's got his watermark on there, but let's take a look at this. Put that up there, and so I don't get in trouble here, and then we'll do that. There we go. Okay.
This executive order is the fuck around and find out order, also known as the FAFO. This order is for everyone who fucked around and will now find out.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
All right. A lot of memes going around out there, folks. A lot of memes going around. Instead of a lecture, rather, poll to get into the Joe Rogan podcast. That will bring mass. Well, Tomahawk, a poll. I mean, how is a poll going to help if I go to South Africa? I'm talking about, God bless it, what's going on here? Talking about in my trip to South Africa, whether you would like to attend a lecture that I give. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate the idea to get me to Joe Rogan. You guys got to go bomb Joe Rogan, man. You got to go bomb him. That's how people get you on the program. So if you can go bomb Joe Rogan, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, but thank you. I'd love to go on the Joe Rogan program. Maybe I'll have a different opinion of Joe's program. I don't have a bad opinion. I would just not that exciting for me. So yeah, but yeah, okay. How are we doing over here? So it's nice super chats today. Thanks, guys. It's really pouring in. Awesome stuff. Appreciate that. Order roll, okay. So evil of Ramaphosa to keep pissing off the U.S. and that in return the poor suffer because of ANC actions. Yep. Well, the ANC doesn't care about the poor. If they did, they wouldn't have stole trillions of rand. They wouldn't have left schools for 30 years without abolitionists where children die in pit latrines. 3 times that I'm aware of. Where will the lecture be? Well, GO 1984, it'll be wherever I go. I mean, typically on a trip to South Africa, I get to Western Cape, Gauteng, and then it's not my intent, but I almost always seem to make it to Eastern Cape and to always make it to Durban, even if I don't want to go. So probably in those 4 locations. In Gauteng, it would most likely be in Pretoria, somewhere Pretoria East, most likely. And then potentially also maybe in Joburg somewhere, maybe in Northcliffe or maybe Four Ways, something like that. Police officer in Durban about the people. Yeah, no, I've got to make a video on that, PJ. I've just been so busy. I got to make a video about how black men are the problem. That was shocking for him to tell the truth like that. Yeah, we had bird flu since last year, and the strain becoming worse now. That's why we pay 100 for 30. Wow, crazy. We want you to run for government here. Marriage is an option. Thank you for that. Good to see you too, Chris. Been busy with specialists diagnosed with. Oh my God, Faith, are you serious? Oh no! Don't say that. Don't say that, folks. Some thoughts and prayers for Faith and I do. That's horrible. That's horrible. Oh man. No. That's. I'm glad I caught that part of the chat. I didn't miss it. Faith, I'm so sorry to hear that. Some people believe in the power of prayer. If you do believe in the power of prayer, could you say a prayer for Faith to overcome this bone cancer? That's pretty horrific. Pretty horrific. I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow, man. Folks, can we get some hearts and love and prayers for Faith? Wow. Well, Faith, you're always welcome here. If you're feeling down, come on over here and I'll do my best to entertain you. Yep. Cereal is more than enough. Yeah, that's why I said, well, in my last video I just did, I said, the money that disappears from the U.S. government, ask Tokyo Sexwale and ask Cyril Ramaphosa for it. PJ Bota says, okay. All right, well, there you go, PJ. Maybe that's what we'll do because I don't want to pay for a venue. That's a bit of a problem. Benita Wilkins Hus says, that's an unusual surname. Please excuse me if this has already been asked, but do you have any prediction how long the process? It hasn't been asked, Benita. Thank you for the super chat. It hasn't been asked today. It's been asked a million times, but not today. I can't predict. I would have expected with 3 weeks they would have come up with something. I don't know what's taking them so long with their intentions here. But I mean, it can take a long time. But I could have had this done in a weekend. So, I mean, and I've worked in the government. I've worked in the embassies. I've actually been in the embassies. I've been in the foggy bottom of State Department. So I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of turmoil going on in these organizations, too, with new leadership, with people disappearing. So, yeah, thank you all very much for the hearts and the prayers that are coming in here for faith. That's awesome. Oh, my God. Alt, your husband was diagnosed with cancer. What is going on in South Africa? So many people get cancer there. What is in the water, man? I'm sorry to hear that. Can we get some thoughts and prayers for Alt's husband? Good Lord. My mother died from stage 4 metastatic lung cancer, but it had a lot more to do with COVID than the lung cancer. Your interview with Biz News is on now. Oh, is it, Cheryl? Okay, I didn't know that. Did she send me a link? Let me see. She promised me a link. Nope, she didn't send it to me. Let me just make sure. That was fast. Nope, she hasn't sent it to me. Let me go to Biz News real quick and see Biz News. I just did that interview this morning. That's a really quick turnaround. Okay. Joel Pollock. Oh, there it is. Cyril wants to be a martyr, but no one is coming to rescue South Africa. Yeah, it is on now. Cool. Just came on 10 minutes ago. Wow. Will we organize venues? Yeah, no, CB. Yeah, that's the thing. Interview with Biz News, but it has to be something we don't have to pay for. Welfare voters bear the responsibility for the scorpions put in charge. That's a fair statement there. I don't know where Antidote's got his information from. The majority of voters want communism. There's no poll that suggests that. I haven't seen that. Got a beautiful plot in Pretoria East next to Nature Reserve. Wow, that sounds nice. Cool. A better idea. Get some ostriches. 1 egg, 24 chicken eggs. That's true. That is true. Okay, so here we go. Just a couple of clips of the business news thing.
This week's Afrikaner trek to Washington and the White House is causing a great deal of controversy.
I love how South Africans say controversy. Controversy. It's not controversy, guys. It's controversy. Controversy. Sorry. It's not a robot either. It's a frickin' traffic light. Mr. Trump, I think, needs to organize the cabinet and get FBI. Okay. Does anyone also have anxiety about the refugee program and having difficulty? Oh, lots of people have anxiety. Lots of people have anxiety. It's a fair question. I hope I answered your question as best I can, but we don't have any indication when that's going to be. So, yeah. That's just the reality of it, folks.
They have been accused of peddling lies, sowing divisions, treason even. We speak to U.S. intelligence analyst, retired Colonel Chris Wyatt, who has met with members of that delegation. Good morning, Colonel.
Shh. Colonel Wyatt met with those people? Oh, my goodness. It must be something going on. 7 Chinese nationals arrested for trafficking. 90 Malawi used cheap labor. 77 work hours under lockdown. Good God. Good God. Is there a possibility of civil unrest? There always is, Mark. We saw it in 2021, and sadly, I predicted that. On the 29th of June, 2021, I predicted there would be chaos and violence in KwaZulu-Natal. Didn't expect it in Gauteng. I also didn't expect it to be hundreds of thousands of people involved, but I did predict it. Eloise Murray says, I'm the wife of G-Man. I will not take a no for an answer. We have hosted the Planet Walker. We have a secure venue, and you may come and stream from there. You're most welcome. Okay, thank you very much. Where is that at? What town? Are you in IJsselfontein? Are you in Hermanus? Are you in Geberge? Are you in Howick? Are you in Rustenburg? Or are you in Pretoria? Because a lot of people in Pretoria. Trump's probably getting all this stuff together at once. Once we're on the plane, WhatsApp. You speak UK. No, you speak South African English. It's different than even English. The English don't say robots. They say traffic lights. Anyway, so here I am earlier this morning. Oh, that's not it. That's not, well, let's do. That's not what I want. Come here. There we go.
Good morning, Chris. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Let's go to the breaking news before we discuss the delegation.
Indeed. In the past hour, letters apparently were delivered to the third-party providers of PEPFAR programs in South Africa, indicating that PEPFAR is now ceased forever in South Africa as a consequence of South Africa's actions not aligning with U.S. national security interests. This is devastating news to those who provide HIV care in South Africa, given that the African National Congress has had 22 years to take full responsibility for treating people and preparing for HIV. And anyway, so about a 20-minute interview, and boy, the sound quality is really good. They did a great job on the sound there. I want to go live in Orania. Okay, Navalent, good luck with that. That's in the middle of nowhere. Okay, Willows Country Lodge, Pretoria East. Okay. Albert Fundlingen, it can be anywhere as long as it's in Pretoria. Well, I spent a lot of time in Pretoria. A lot of people I know are up there. It's people talk about an Afrikaner heartland. That's definitely one of them. Lots of Afrikaners around there. So the nice thing about the Pretoria area is you can speak English, Tswana, or Afrikaans, and people understand you for the most part. My grandfather died 17 years ago with asbestos lung cancer, mesothelioma. Is that what he had? Mesothelioma? That's pretty terrible stuff too. All right, cool. Grew up in Pretoria, lived in Ferryglen, and attended Menlo Park. All right, cool beans. Let's get back to... So Rama wants to make a deal. Now he wants to make a deal. All right, Trump's plans. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear this? Oscar-winning actor, famed actor, Gene Hackman died last night at the age of 95, which in itself isn't shocking, but his 63-year-old wife is dead, and so is his dog. My first response was, it must have been carbon monoxide poisoning. It is wintertime, and they did live in New Mexico. It's cold, gets cold in the mountains. Gene Hackman is dead. They found him and his 63-year-old wife dead along with their dog. No indication of foul play at this point. Wow. Oscar-winning actor and author Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were found dead in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico yesterday. Hackman, 95 years of age, and Arakawa, 63, a classical pianist, were found alongside their dog, which was also deceased at 1:45 p.m. Wow. Officers visited the home to conduct a welfare check. Authorities have not released any details about the circumstances. Hackman was married twice and had 3 children. He married her in 1991. 1991, so she's 63. She was in her 30s then when he was in his 60s. The award-winning actor lived in Santa Fe since the 1980s, residing in a gated community in Old Sunset Trail. He's best known for his roles in William Friedkin's 1971 thriller The French Connection. He got an Oscar for that. The 1988 Mississippi Burning, Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. He played Lex Luthor in his Superman movies. And The Runaway Jury, The Conversion, or Conversation, The Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah. We've lost one of the true giants of the screen. George Takei, known for his Star Trek role, said, Gene Hackman could play anyone. You could feel a whole life behind it. He could be everyone and no one, a towering presence or an everyday Joe. Yeah, no, Gene Hackman, that's amazing. In 1964, he was cast as young suitor in the Broadway play Any Wednesday. And that led to an on-screen debut with Warren Beatty in the melodrama Lilith the same year. Wow. Crazy. Man, Gene Hackman dead at 95. Man. If my brother-in-law attends your talk, please excuse him ahead of time. He's very straightforward, does not believe in sugarcoating. Okay. My dad fought in the Bush War in Rhodesia. He suggested a book for you, Zulu Scouts. Thank you, Virtual Western Cape. I've read Zulu Scouts, and my great regret is I didn't get a chance to interview Rod Reed Daly before he passed away a few years ago. I'm very familiar with the book. I have a copy of it, and I showed people that on Amazon you can get it, a used copy, for $329. It was in print in South Africa just a few years ago, and it's one of the best books I've ever read. I have to find it. I loaned it to a student at the War College and didn't get it back forever. I think they eventually returned it to me, but I don't know where it's at. Really pissed me off. They had it for almost a year. Okay, Erica, see you later. And what else we got here? The dumbest statement of the year. White House mocks Michael Moore, the goofball filmmaker, leftist lunatic, over his defense of illegal immigrants. White House mocked filmmaker Michael Moore on Wednesday for suggesting the U.S. might be missing out on a future cure for cancer because it's deporting illegal immigrants. Presidential spokesman Kush Desai. Look out! Wait a second. I thought Donald Trump was a racist. What is Kush Desai doing as Indian being on his team? Said Mr. Moore's comments are a strong contender for dumbest statement of the year. Michael Moore is free to visit the quantum computing and particle physics lab that MS-13, Tren de Agua, and the cartels are now going to have to set up back home in El Salvador, Venezuela, and Mexico, Mr. Desai said. Oh, there's a bird. There is a bird. The quantum computing and particle physics labs at MS-13, Tren de Agua, and the cartels are now setting up in Venezuela, Mexico, and El Salvador. Another tragic death, folks. This is much younger. At the age of 39, she was adorable when she appeared as a youth on the program. Later came on Gossip Girls, but on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, playing the sister of Buffy, Michelle Trachtenberg, dead at 39. They're claiming it's natural causes, but that is a very unnatural death at the age of 39. She was quite the hottie in her day. Michelle Trachtenberg, an actress known for roles in the hit television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girls, died at the age of 39. She was found unconscious and unresponsive in her apartment at Manhattan's Upper West Side on Wednesday. At approximately 8 o'clock in the morning, police responded to a 911 call of an aided individual at 1 Columbus Place within the confines of Midtown North Precinct. EMS responded to the location and pronounced the victim deceased. Trachtenberg reportedly underwent a recent liver transplant, was found by her mother, according to ABC News. Good Lord. Wow. There she is attending the Geezer premiere in 2016. She garnered her breakout role in 1996 film Harriet the Spy. Yep, born in 1985 in New York City. Wow. Michelle Trachtenberg, gone at 39. Wow, man, life is too precious. Pennsylvania, transgender runner is in a race in the girls' state finals despite Trump's executive order. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is violating this. Well, there goes federal funding to my state. Recent updates to Pennsylvania's gender policy in high school sports won't stop a transgender athlete from racing against girls in state championships. An 18-year-old male-born student who identifies as female is scheduled to compete Sunday in the girls' indoor track and field event despite Trump's executive order in single-sex sports. Ron Lopresti, president of the Pennsylvania Track and Field Coach Association, which sponsored the championships, said he was told that the Pennsylvania Athletic Association's policy changes really didn't change much when it comes to transgender. They have not changed their policy. The policy aims right now, until the laws change, the school determines what athletes can compete on what teams. Wow. Wow. The upshot is that Luce Allen, a male-born senior at Plymouth White Marsh High School, remains eligible to run the girls' 200-meter dash to be held on Sunday. The athlete is competing in girls' indoor and outdoor tracks for 2 years. Unbelievable. Okay. Gee, I wonder which one is loose. Look at that. I wonder which one. The time of loose is 25.43 seconds, 3 seconds slower than the last qualifier for the boys. So if Luce participated as a male, Luce would not have gotten into the race. So running against girls, this is what happens with Luce. Okay. Wow, suddenly people are members. What's going on there? Somebody buy a bunch of members? Well, thank you, Jacqueline DeGoose, for all those memberships. Here we go. This is the race. Girls 200-meter varsity. Look at that biological male.
All right, heat 2, pretty full of New Britain athletes.
Biological male on the left-hand side.
Out in lane 6, that's Luce Allen from Plymouth White Marsh. New personal best of 25.73.
A personal best of 25.73, which would be 3 seconds slower than the lowest qualifying boy at that race. Pushing Adriana Ayala out of the race because Ayana doesn't qualify now thanks to a biological male participating in that event. Wow. Bill Clinton will claim he had no sexual relation with that one. By the way, did we were told last night that the Epstein files would be out. I haven't seen that. Too many people are dying and diagnosed with cancer. I've lost friends. I mean, yeah, I know it's happening all the time in South Africa. It's frightening. It's tragic. I can't get what there also seems to be a look. I'm not going to say it, but there seems to be a lot more people anecdotally getting cancer in South Africa since the. Remember that? Spineless coward running against girls. Yep. Yeah, if that's how it works, can I identify as a billionaire? Yeah, where can I get my money at? Exactly. 100% there. D. Normandy. Good evening, Colonel. What is the minimum hour wage going? You're talking about the minimum wage in the United States. We have a federal minimum wage, which is $7.50 per hour. Many states have a higher minimum wage. California, I think it's $15 an hour right now. And there's a thanks. There's a super chat. 140 Rand from Erica. Thank you very much, Erica. I appreciate that. I don't know. It's hard to see details. What's this? Yeah, so did I answer your question there? Which states in America do you think Afrikaners would adjust most easily? Hidden Hand Chronicles. That's impossible to answer because Afrikaners live all over South Africa. You live in the high desert chaparral. You live in the subtropics. You live in Mediterranean climate. You live in the mountains. You live in the valleys. You live all over. So, I mean, we've got all that in America and much more. So, I mean, it depends on the individual. In Texas, New Mexico, Florida, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, if you're conservative, Wyoming. Erica van Vyk, thank you for that. It's a thanks to you. Thank you for that super chat. I really do appreciate that. Okay, the lady in Maine who was representing the girls against men and women's sport was censored by the board. Okay. Thank you for that, Anto. And another super chat, this one from Sharon Clote. 35 Rand. Thank you for that, Sharon. I appreciate that. Thank God President Trump doesn't take that crap anymore. Exactly. Houston is like Pretoria at the sea. I don't know about that, Dad. I don't know about that. Man, that ugly girl runs fast. Yeah, exactly. If you like cold, go north. Like warmer, go south. First choice would never get to live is Jackson Hole. Yeah, Jackson Hole rocks, man. But it's also full of tourists, and you have to be willing to put up with that, which means restaurants are clogged, and you've got people that are constantly coming and going. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of interesting being in a tourist town, but you have to remember Jackson Hole is a major tourist town, and it's one of the busiest airports in the region. Yep. That's a lot of snow. What's a lot of snow? Those going to Texas must watch out for the Texas Bushmen. Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right, guys. 755 likes, 603 people here. I think what I'm going to do is probably, let me check on something here very quickly. Okay, I want to set something up. Okay, customization. So I hope that, let me take a look at the poll here in just a second. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. A racehorse that identifies as human female runner. Can I use the racehorse? Yeah, that's a good one. I love that one. That's funny. Neil Skuma just gave 40 Rand super chat. Thank you. On 199 super, you did 2 of them. Wow, thank you for that, Neil. What's that all about? What is with YouTube, man? Pages just don't load fast anymore. What's going on? YouTube is acting up. Thank you, Neil. That's, wow, twice there. Okay. Someone should put the governor of Maine in a boxing ring with, yeah, put the governor of Maine. Yeah, Trump took care of her. My brother and his wife moved to Texas, 23. They're living at their parents. Okay. Why are they living with their parents? Okay, this is not working. Why is YouTube not working? Damn it. Oh, I swear to God. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Join Planet Fitness.
Oh, I don't want that. That's loud. That's loud. Okay. Chris, did you see a member now? Whoop, whoop, first time ever. Yeah, I did. I just said Neil Skuman. Did a first super chat, and then we got a second one from him, and it says first, so I don't understand that. Are there 2 Neil Skumans? Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. All right, I want to check in on the other video real quick before we wrap up here. So that video I did earlier on PEPFAR ending is currently at, oh, that's not it. I'm in the wrong place. Sorry, that's the young man from this morning. Videos, there it is, PEPFAR. It's at 45,000. Slowed down to 10,000 per hour now, so it's slowing down a bit. But yeah, 10,000. The other one I did on Ramaphosa is up at 10,000 already, so that was the one that came after that. Okay, let me see what the poll says. 89% X the poll, 600. That's good. Wow, we'd have a lot of turnout for that, wouldn't we, if we actually did that? That's pretty cool. Thank you for that. I'm grateful for that. Let me just save that poll. I've been saving some of these polls lately just so I get a feel for what people are saying and doing. Right? Save the image. There we go. All right, I'm going to wrap up here, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. If you'd like, you're going to be redirected, the 600 of you still here, over to Ronaldo's program. And Rob Hersoff is on there right now, so you might like that. All right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks a lot for being here. Catch you later. I'll give you updates if we have them. All right. When are you having a chat with Steve Hofmeyer? It's up to Steve Hofmeyer, man. I've asked him many times. It's up to Steve.